Where the breakfast, run it up, run it up. J-Chain's in the booth, turn the mics up. Let's go. Step in the game, no cap, no gimmicks. Crypto in the veins, I'm built for the business. Charge on the screen, fights in the ring. Family first, but I handle my thing. The gym flow, but the hustle stay clean. Real world moves while they chase me. Every show lit, community tight, W3BC. We shining so bright. Chain, run the blocks to the pace. Crypto fights family, all in one place. On the base up, please with the speakers shake. With a breakfast, the whole world wake. Chain, run the blocks to the pace. Crypto fights family, all in one place. On the base up, place with the speakers shake. With a breakfast, let the whole world wake. No fake hype, I'm about that grind. Everybody have it like a bag of that shine. Deals on deck, adoption in sight. Building the future when I grab that mic. Respect on the name, put the work in daily. Streaming live and the fans still rate me. From ATL to Singapore flights. When I touch down, it's nothing but light. Chain, run the blocks at the pace. Crypto fights family, all in one place. Turn the bass up, place, make the speakers shake. With a breakfast, let the whole world wake. Chain, wake up, wake, chain.
Hey, everybody, smash the like button.
Boom, there it is, GM. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're coming from. My name is Jay Chains. Welcome to the show. Crypto is ripping. Is the bull run back, or are we all just a little high on some hopium? I know that it is definitely well received. We are very excited. Our portfolios are looking good today. Absolutely love to see Bitcoin ripping all the way up to I think it got pretty damn near close to 69,000. We're at 68,109 right now on CoinMarketCap. So a little bit of a retracement, but I'm telling you, massive pump today. One thing, look, we're going to celebrate. We're excited. The portfolios are looking good. Yahoo, baby. Smash the like button on your way in if your portfolio is looking a little bit juicier today, especially if you hit that long. Holy Toledo. I know some people are looking for shorts just to, that's just what happens. It doesn't just go up forever. We'll take a look at the charts here in a little bit. I'm really excited for the last couple days. Why we haven't gone live yet is that it's taken me a little bit longer. I put out a post this morning about how I'm my own bottleneck. I am, sometimes the perfectionist, or I got the analysis paralysis here, but I built myself an entire live stream dashboard so that we can have all of the fun things that I know over the course of my many years in this industry and ecosystem and live streaming and putting together the show for Ben, what people want and all that stuff. And look at this really quick. We'll get back to it in a second, but we got a rundown, we got information, we've got, just like what we had, on the morning macro, we've got the headlines that scroll across the bottom. We've got some price tickers that update as things get rolling. I'm like super juiced that my building capabilities have grown to the point where I can put this together and present the information well, clearly. You guys can see where we're at in the show. And it's very repeatable. It's not very cumbersome like it used to have to be, where everything, I'm obviously relying on AI, Codex, GitHub to put all of this stuff together. So it's all it's here, man. And it's obviously an iterative process, and we'll get the design to look differently, I'm sure. Some of the information, what we look up, and all these things will be different. But I'm super excited to bring you guys this next evolution of the show. So kind of how it's going to work out, how we're going to run down. We're going to be going live every day. Now, I do think that the timing, I'm going to go a little bit earlier every day. So probably noon to 2, I think would be the time in which we're going to do this. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to open up. We'll talk about the markets, what's going on. We'll look at the charts. Then we'll get into the news, and we'll look at news from all sorts of different things, right? We're going to go the news, crypto, like we've always done, especially with tokenization, where RWAs are headed, what's happening, financially in our ecosystem. And then we'll get into some AI and tech news, kind of, looking at some other things that it all makes sense, and it all's put together with how we're looking at technology, and how again, we're watching blockchain become part of the global financial ecosystem. So we'll get into that. And then what I'm really excited about is because look, I've always one of the things, even dating back to the Beers and Bitcoins podcast that Ben and I did in the beginning, and one of the things we always said, we're just regular dudes, man. I'm just a regular guy. You know me. Even though I am coding, I am more of a nerd now than I have ever been. But the whole idea is that I'm a sports dude, and so we're going to go through some sports news and how I think as far as what we've got today, there's some baseball stuff, some golf stuff, some football stuff, because obviously football season's coming up pretty soon here. So we'll be going through that. We'll look at a betting desk. We'll look at some sports, some odds, and we'll look and see, is there anything that potentially fancies us that we might want to get into? And we can, look at, I think for that queued up, I got the API tied in for college football, pro football, Major League Baseball, NBA, and then WNBA. It's hot. There's a lot of things going on in the WNBA right now, and obviously we'll see if there's any mismatches or opportunities to make money there. And then from there, and so that is also going to be the segue into when we jump onto BC Game. And we'll play some blackjack. We'll hang out there. I do want to shout out BC Game. They are a sponsor of me, the channel, the show, and so our when we get into that segment of kind of the sports and the sports book stuff, that section is definitely powered by BC Game. Our market section that we'll get into is powered by BitUnix. As you know, we are an affiliate partner of BitUnix. That's where I do all my trading. I haven't been trading right now, but obviously we're going to get back into it, especially if the market is going to be moving. Even if it's going up and going down, we're getting some more volatility into it. It's time to take a look at and maybe get back into doing some trading. We'll also get into the trenches at the end towards the end of the show. It'll be the last segment. We'll take a look at, obviously, the first coin we're going to look at is the J-Chains token, unequivocally. Things are looking good today, up a little bit. And then we've got a couple other tokens that I want to look at. So if you guys are in the crowd and you got a favorite meme coin that we can pull up on Deck Screener, make sure you drop either the ticker, probably the CA would be the best, and then I can scrape that, put that in there, and we can take a look at the chart and kind of see. And so when we get into the trenches, I'll show you one of the things that I made is the I'm calling it the black box, right? And it's just the working title. We'll find a different name for it. I'm sure that's already taken anyway. But with it's kind of like a intelligence. It's trench intelligence is what I'm calling it. And you'll see when we pull it up, it starts to score the meme coins. And so, like, even with mine, like, I got a lot of work to do. I think I was looking at it's like a 52 or 48 or 52, something like that, as far as the score goes. And so we got some work to do, but it tells you some good, some bad, and some other stuff from information in there. And so, all right, that is, I think, all the house cleaning that we need to do. I'm pretty sure that that's it, guys. Make sure that you smash the like button on your way in. Number one thing you can do to help me out, if you are watching on X, make sure you hit the bookmark. That is massive. The more people that hit bookmark as you pop in here, that is going to be showing this video to a lot more people. And that's what we need. We need community growth. We need ecosystem growth. We need more people to understand what we're building here, because with the meme token, with the media, they're all just parts of the flywheel in what we've got going on here. And plus, I don't know if you got a chance to see any of the content that we've been putting out lately. I shot a chain link video this morning that went out today. I hope you guys understand that's a massive, massive opportunity. That's precedent structure. That is some protocols that are, really going in the favor of chain link. So shout out to my Link Marines. Hoorah, let's go. We also have done some other videos that you guys are going to want to check out. So make sure that you are tapped in. You're giving us a follow, not only here on X, on YouTube, but we are streaming also to LinkedIn today. And then, the platform is a BC Game platform. It's down right now, so we're not streaming to there, but we are going to be back to that hopefully soon. So if you can, I'll send you guys out a link to that. If you want, you can go ahead and get your account set up so that when we do go back to streaming there, you can check that out. It's a whole nother platform, something to check out there. So, all right, let's jump in here. Let's jump into the charts. So as you can see, we got Bitcoin pulled up, and we are looking at Bitcoin on the weekly. Nice big candle today. So this is actually a system that I designed. This is charts. This is so we don't have, everybody loves TradingView, but the chart is the chart. I'm going to build some capabilities to be able to draw lines on here and understand. But for now, And I've got plans. I tried to put in the 21 and the 200 day, and the way that it presented it was really wrong. As you can see, we can try to put them on. There's no way that I guess this is the weekly chart. And the 21 day, let's see if we zoom in on there. See, like there's some of the information just doesn't translate correctly. So let's just make sure these are both off. And that's something, it's the iteration part that I'll keep working on, is making sure that we get some good functionality in here. And because of the whole point of using the U-shaped bottom, absolutely. I think, we've got a big opportunity with Bitcoin here if this is the big show. Again, cautiously optimistic, because what you got to remember is since we started going down here in October, right? It's like we make a leg down, we consolidate up, 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 and then we make a leg down. There's a lot of ways that we have been looking at the chart over the last couple of weeks, months, all that, kind of fully expecting this move to, really catch people off guard or catch you. I mean, to be understand that it's happening, right? The whole idea of, again, history doesn't, in crypto, it doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. It's kind of a model that we've looked at. So again, you look at 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be the fourth time if it happens. At some point, now we do understand at some point there is not another leg down. We go back up. However, I think most of us have been really planning and really expecting to see. And if you look at historically, right, over the last several bear markets, that August and September are red months. Now, again, history doesn't repeat. It rhymes. Sometimes they are worse off months than others. We could see a positive month. We're 17 days through, and as you can see, we're things are moving upward than they were last month. And so this is the week chart, so you just have to look at each 4 candles represents the month. So that being said, cautiously optimistic, especially when we're looking at the long term like this, and knowing that we have seen these nice structured moves that it's a bearish continuation, but it's an upward trajectory on the consolidation, and then then it goes down. So we're watching it, we're paying attention. I had a couple phone calls today with some people asking, like, is this it? It very well could be. I think enough of us have been jaded several times throughout here. I mean, like, look what happened here, right? Like, even this candle that we're on right now on the weekly, strangely similar to this right here, right? The next week it went up a little bit, but as you can see, that wick got chewed up and then it dropped down. And this is how the candle finished. So it ended up finishing below this week here. And then ultimately, the 2 weeks were bad, and then it went back up. So we could see something play out just like that, where in the next couple days and even into touching next week, in the beginning we go up, but then we start going back down. So again, we're always cautiously optimistic, only because we've been here, we've seen the game. It doesn't always just go up, go up, go up. Now, look, there are times where it goes up, 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 goes up. We're this pales in comparison to some of those other opportunities. But at the end of the day, we're watching it. We'll set our alarms, our alerts. Always make sure that you understand where we're at in the particular phase. And so let's do this. Let's scroll into the daily, see how this looks. This on the daily, it looks pretty bullish, man. It looks like we're probably going to see a bullish continuation, even if we pushed up to the low to mid 70s. We could see that happen, especially with this kind of recovery. I mean, just like Masa said earlier, U-shaped recovery. Depending on what time frames you're looking at, we've got the different ideas and the different metrics. That's the daily chart. Again, it looks really bullish, but at the end of the day, you're starting to see a nice little topside wick here. That potentially could be a change in direction. So we could start to see this thing come back down and play out as a normal pump would, as it gets kind of sold off a little bit, and then you consolidate, and then from there, depending on who's in control, the bulls or the bears, will continue the direction on from there. Let's take a look down at the 4-hour chart. Look at that. Look at that. That is the epitome of a god candle right there, going from the high 64s all the way up to damn near 69,000. It is absolutely wild. Let's see. This is The high here was 69,500 is what it went to on this chart right here. So that becomes our new resistance point. So we'll see what happens over the next several hours. Again, these are the 4-hour candles. So right now it's at an indecision. You can see indecision candle is marked with a wick on the top and the bottom of equal length. Traditionally, sometimes that body could even be shorter. It could be a nothing body with all wicks. That is one of the things that now we start to look at on this 4-hour time frame is, okay, hold up. Pumpsville may be over. It may come back down, but it may continue to go up. It may just be part of the consolidation. Let's drill it down to the hourly and see what the story's telling us from here. Look, from here, I would say that we potentially saw our bottom. We saw that drop down, that this candle right here, this got eaten up. So now you got a wick. So you got left with just half of it. Potentially could be this was the sell-off. This was the profit taking. And now you got the people who are jumping back in to rip it back up. Let's zoom it down to the 15-minute. See what the 15-minute tells us. 15-minute tells us that we did, in fact, we bottomed out here for now. That's our local bottom. And things are moving back up for now. Obviously, you start to see the top side wicks and you start to think, all right, momentum change. Are we going to start, going back down? Will this level hold right here? This 67.9 or 68.1 or 2, whatever that happens to be right there. I obviously need to fix the charting a little bit here so we can understand where things are at, but you can tell here as we drill down to smaller time frames what we're looking at. Here's the opportunity. Is this the bottom? Will we come back down? We came down here, made a bottom, come back, we're shooting back up here. Are we going to lift off and go back up? Or are we going to come back down and touch this support, test it out, see what kind of see what we got? If there's good volume there that holds, then it holds, and we continue to build from there. Or if it all just gets sold off, we'll see a drop from there. So that to me, again, it's the two different time zones tell you different pictures. One right here, we are absolutely cautiously optimistic about this. We love the pump, love the opportunity for for some gains in the portfolio. But again, remember, consolidate up, drop down, consolidate up, drop down, consolidate up, drop down. We are consolidating on an upward trend now. We'll see what happens. Set your alarms, set your alerts. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum coming in right now at $2,090. Love to see that thing back over 2K. This is the weekly chart right here. It kind of tells that same story, right? Had a nice little bottoming issue down over here when we hit this wick at the end of May here, a low of 1,500. It is nice to see Ethereum back at 2,000. I don't know where it's going to get. I'm a 10K ETH kind of guy. That's where I think it's headed. I wonder what you guys think. If you got an idea of your Ethereum price target, drop it down into the chat. Want to know, chat? What's up, chat? Say what's up, by the way. Anyway, +1 if you are here, if you're live, if you're breathing, take a little coffee break. Come on. Let's see. Looks like we've got a scam comment over on X. Don't mind that. You watching the chat, don't mind that. If you are in the chat, though, what's up? What's up? Hope you guys are doing well. I'm going to say GM to my folks over there on X. And we got some people chit-chatting over on the YouTubes. If you are there, I appreciate every single one of you. All right. Let's get back into Ethereum. All right, so here's Ethereum on the weekly chart. As you can see, we are in a downtrend, and you are always in a downtrend until you're not. However, if we break this 2386, if we are on an expedited journey back to Pumpsville, and we break this resistance at 2386, that would be a good thing. That would be step number one, is to break up out of this downtrend. And then once we do that, what you would expect is for it to go up, little tiny price discovery, come back down, get back to that support resistance level, see how it plays out. If it does have the chops, then it goes back up. And if it gets rejected and it goes back down, that's usually what you'll see. So let's be looking for, a trip back. If the bulls are back in charge, and this is a multi-day pump, I mean, everything's up big. I mean, you got Bitcoin up 5.5% today. Ethereum's up almost 10%. Solana's up over 6%, which, by the way, I want to say something here. let's do this. In our Discord, I got to shout out my guy, Coley. Coley has been putting some great stuff together for us, really restructuring the entire Discord. He set up the token gate, all that stuff. But not only that, he's built some prediction markets. And one of the ones that expired today, and I won because this is back when Solana was, sub $75. It was, are we going to see Solana over $75 by Wednesday or at some point today, right? And I said, absolutely. I put a couple of coins in there. Yeah, you can use the JChains token to go ahead and get your little wagers in there on the prediction market. So we're going to win that one today. So we're going to win a little bit of a coin back. Also, what he built, and I'm super excited to this. And shout out to my guy KO Kid Keith Berry, my dude. He is going to be fighting in I forget the name of the promotion. My goodness, let me go find it on Telegram. And he's going to be fighting on Saturday. Now, the card starts at 6 p.m. He's the co-main. 6 p.m. Pacific is when it starts. So 9 p.m. Eastern is when the entire fight starts. And he's the co-main out of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's the 9th fight out of 11. So at some point that evening, and it will be streamed, and I think a couple of us from BC Game are going to probably be doing a stream to support our guy Keith. But just so you know, if you get in our Discord, if you're in the 1% Better Club Discord, you can, because look, it's out of the state of California. There is no sites that have action on it. We put everything into the intelligence generator, and we got ourselves some odds, and that doesn't matter because it's just a straight up pick. Is Keith going to win or is opponent going to win? You can sacrifice some JChains tokens and you can go ahead and win some more. So if you are interested in that, look, we're doing all sorts of fun, cool stuff with the JChains token. So if you want to participate, get into the Discord, join the X chat. You can get on Telegram if you want, but I'm trying to abandon the Telegram. I'm not really interested in the folks that are handling stuff over there. It is a whole nother beast, and that is. Save that for someone else. We're building our community in Discord, but you can take advantage of all the things that are being built, prediction markets, the daily chain, all that kind of stuff. It's fun gamification ways for our community to participate. So I will make sure that a link to the Discord gets down into the chat in just a few minutes here, and we'll start putting it in the every day in the description. So all right, let's get back to the charts because that's what we are looking at. Again, this was the Ethereum on the weekly. Let's take a look at on the daily here. Look at that. Let's go to the 4-hour. Oh, baby, there's our God candle. We love to see candles like this. It's been a while, hasn't it? I think we've all been conditioned to be seeing such negative price action and no pumps that can sustain. And so here we go. Much like Bitcoin, you've got Ethereum, its next candle here on this 4-hour is a total indecision candle. You've got wicks to the top and the bottom, and you got barely a body. It's nobody. Ain't nobody there. It's all wicks. And so it's, that's anyone's guess. Now, technically at this point, this candle has created a lower high. So experience would tell me that we are correcting to the downside. Now let's take a look at the hourly. Look, it tells us that this could have been a reversal. Look, this got eaten up all the way, and then we switch. Now this next candle is down a little bit, but we'll have to wait and see how things are looking as we continue to go, because what's going to happen is this is going to build a flag. It looks like that is happening right here. You go boom, boom, and we got ourselves a bullish flag here. Now, if it's symmetrical, it could break the either way. If it's a bullish continuation, if we could find a way to make this a bullish pattern, obviously you'd want to take this leg and then put that up there, and that would be your rocket ship up to like four or 5 grand or something like that. Is it going to happen? I don't know. Actually, probably not that much. It would just be maybe 2,500 or something if we were to take this exact candle structure there. Let's look at the 5-minute. Look, it looks like we are potentially getting ready to make a double bottom. That's kind of along what we were saying before, right? It came up here, went on little, we saw here, came back down, went on its little price discovery, got rejected, came back down. We'll see what happens if this comes back down to this level, or if it sits down here at this auto support at 20,076. We'll see what happens right here if we breach that and then make a double bottom and continue to slide, or if that's the bounce point and it gets the rally that it needs, and then go on to to newer higher highs, if you will. I want to definitely take a look at Chainlink. Let's take a look at Chainlink on the weekly. I'm super juiced about this. Look, we've been talking about Chainlink for quite some time. You guys know that. Look, with the RWAs, tokenization, capital finance, all that stuff happening, we are super bullish. That's probably the easiest way that I can say this, is that anytime, and I've been saying, like, yo, if you can get your chain link under $10, that's a fucking deal, dude. It was like down at the $7. I mean, all this shit down here, we've been screaming about buying chain link in the buy zone all throughout this whole time, sub $10. It's $9.98 today. Went well over $10 at one point. But right now you can still get it at sub 10. So you can say, I did it. I listened to J-Chains. I got my chain link at sub 10. I know that there's a lot of people in our community that have been DCAing chain link like crazy. Shout out to you guys for doing that. I just put out a video today that shows you that what they're doing and what they're building is the solution. The state of Wyoming kicked layer 0 basically out of their program and brought Chainlink CCIP as the sole across the board. Said they've got the best protocol in the solution that they provide. And so this, I mean, Chainlink, among a lot of others, pumped today. But I'm telling you, this to me is the solution. It's the infrastructure play. There's several of them. We're going to go through it. We did the video and I had actually gotten a message from my Chainlink contact this morning. So shout out to my guy for sending me that and letting me know that this was happening. And so we were able to put this together. And I know that the article probably came out sooner than I was able to get the video out, and that's fine. But I was able to, or I guess he sent me a message yesterday. It was yesterday afternoon, but I got it this morning. The whole idea of being in the game and having Chainlink in the portfolio, it's massive. Shout out to my guy Volmer in the building. Let's go, GM, homie. Appreciate you guys being here. Make sure y'all know the drill, but make sure you're hearing it from me. Make sure you are smashing that like button on your way in. Number one thing you guys can help me do. And if you are watching on X, not only do you got to hit the heart, come in and chit chat with us. I'm opening up the chat on my phone right here. But I also want you to make sure that you hit the bookmark. That is massive. I have been learning, massive for us to grow and to be able to have more people seeing what we're doing. So shout out to you guys. Make sure you guys are helping me out. Help me help you. Let's go. All right. Chainlink on the weekly, looking good. Hopefully we see a next big pop. Again, this is an infrastructure play for me. So up, down, sideways, I don't care. We DCA Chainlink as much as possible, and we put that shit in cold storage, and we're just going to let that it's going to sit. It is going to sit. This is a 5. Everything that we're buying now, your Bitcoin, your Chainlink, even your Ethereum, your Solana, all that stuff, man, you should be thinking 5 to 10 years, man. You should just put that stuff away and just add to it. Never touch it. I mean, obviously, if you need to, if you got, life gets in the way, I understand all that stuff. I understand it all too well. But I'm telling you, this is the time now to start stacking. Even if the bull run does get kicked off a little bit earlier than we originally anticipated. Again, if you're just joining us, it's looking really good today. Obviously, very pumpy. Respect the pump, though, and understand that we need a true catalyst to see a massive bull run kick off. Retail is not here, so they're not going to help. They're not going to help until I think we get back into the hundreds. And I don't think we have the infrastructure set up quite yet. I think that's what we're working towards. These are probably the inaugural pumps. And again, if we look at historically speaking in the last couple of bear markets, August, September are shit months for us. Let's just be cautiously optimistic. We can see that over the course of history, it does go up just to go right back down. There's liquidity flushes, there are all that stuff. So we're always paying attention. And making sure that we're doing the right thing. Don't get yourself wrecked. Don't throw in 100x long right now because today was pumpy. Chasing candles is never a wise thing. You got to wait for the next reset and then get in if that's what you're doing. All right. Chainlink on the weekly. Let's look at we already talked about it. Let's look at the daily here. There we go. Things have been moving up, looking good here for the last many days now. Things for Chainlink as far as the news go, the partnerships, all that. And I know that goes across the board for a lot of projects. This is the time in the season where we're starting to see a lot of announcements, partnerships, all that stuff. Do they move the needle on the price? Not all the time. We saw actually something that surprised me. It was a few months ago. It was actually good news for Cardano of all projects, and the price actually went down like a couple percent that day. So we're living in strange times. Back in the early days in 2017, when I first got in here, a project could pay for a press release and just do some forward thinking, forward statements, or whatever they call it in the investing worlds, and that would move 200-300% in a day. Now you get like actual good news, and it doesn't quite move the needle in the same direction, or at the same velocity it once did. But at some point, again, when retail is here and all that stuff matters a little bit more, that's when we'll see it. But we're going to take our pump. We're going to take our happy pump. Guys, smash the fucking like button if you are happy for the pump today. Give me a little coffee here. It's an afternoon coffee kind of day. We got a lot to do. All right, let's look at the 4-hour on Link. That is looking good. Things are it's not like the others where we've retested. We'll get a little bit more granular, but you see, like this is looking to me a little bit more like we'll see a continuation for Chainlink. Now, I did post the other day. I looked at the other chart, and that we'll have to do something separate there. But the other chart is everything excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I'm telling you, like, it almost looks like we're getting ready for an alt season. So we'll have to see, because we got bamboozled on our alt season last time. It was the Bitcoin show. Here is the hourly for Chainlink. Again, looking a lot better than Bitcoin and Ethereum both did on the more granular charts. The 15-minute looks like we already came down. Look, we touched our support level right here, and we've bounced. And the 5-minute, yeah, it's telling that same story. So we'll see. I would expect in what it looks like. Yeah, I could be absolutely wrong, but it could be that Chainlink is going to continue to pump throughout the day. So we'll see. It is 2:15 in the afternoon on the East Coast. Got a few hours left of the trading day for TradFi. Remember, they kind of run the show right now anyway. So we'll see what happens over the next couple hours. See if there's an afternoon sell off before the boys shut it down for the day and then go get beers at their favorite place in Midtown Manhattan. I know that because I used to live there, and that's my buddy does. And they go and they get their Sun Cruisers, or their old fashions, or their dirty martinis, whatever it is, at the hot spots there. All right. Let's see. We did that Solana salami. Here we go, coming in at 81.51. Let's go. Let's look at the weekly here. It looks a little bit more tame here. Look at this crazy support and resistance structure that we have been seeing here. Let's turn these off. Wait. There's a lot of extra lines there. That's interesting. So we've been trading inside a little tight range here for salami. Let's see what happens as we start to open this out on the daily. There we go. There's our candle. As you can see, we're getting ourselves close to a local high here on the 4-hour. Yeah, we love that one. Everybody makes everybody happy to see that big green God candle. Now look, there's the indecision candle that look on the 4-hour Chainlink. It's still green. It's top. The top side is much healthier than everything else. Back to Solana. There you go. We've got an absolute indecision candle there with a mid body. On the 1-hour, it looks like we're changing our direction. We are starting to see some bottom side wicks, which generally means that we're going to start heading in the right direction. Here's the 15-minute. We made our bounce, and we're trying to figure out what we're going to do. There is another. Would you call it an indecision candle? Possibly. It's got just a little body with a equal top and bottom wick. And then our 5-minute. We'll see what happens. Doesn't look as healthy as Chainlink. I would say Chainlink looks extremely healthy, like it's getting ready to go on its next leg up. Solana, ETH, Bitcoin all kind of look like they're in an indecision mode. Let's take a look at our XRP for our XRP army. Drop it to the week. Not a good looking chart. You are in a downtrend until you're not. And this thing has just been in a downward slide since July of last year. Sitting currently at $1.06. It was sub $1 the other day, which was wild to see. Let's take a look at the daily. Had a nice little pump there on the daily, as you can see. Got us out of out of that little low zone right there. Consider it a breakout, if you will. The sell-off has happened there on the 4-hour. We're starting to see our direction change when we drill it to the hour. How's the 15-minute? Looks like we made our bottom. We bounced. Now we're trying to decide what we're going to do from there. XRP, same kind of thing. I think it's in its indecision mode of what does it want to do? Does it want to continue to sell off some of that pump, or is it going to go back into Pumpsville? So there's your markets. That's what we're going to cover. We can add some more coins. If there are coins that you guys want me to add onto the daily staple of what are we looking at on the markets, absolutely just let me know. Drop it in the comment. We'll add it in there. And again, remember, when we get into the trenches later on, you see number 7, the trenches. We're going to open that one up with the J-Chains token. But if there are other memes you're looking at, other load caps that we can find on deck screen, or drop the CA down in the chat and I'll pull it up. I'm definitely going to be pulling up the good token. Shout out to my homies at the good over on Robinhood, keeping that thing safe, the hood over on Robinhood safe. Definitely a massive pump today. This thing's up at about $600-something thousand. Just an insane amount of buys coming in. I would suggest you guys check that one out. It is the potential to be the dog coin on Robinhood. It is at a $685,000 market cap right now. We have been tracking that since day one. We'll pull that up when we get into the trenches. But for now, guys, make sure you smash the like button. Let's do this. Let's hop over to our news. We're going to go through some news right here from our news desk. The SEC proposes regulation among crypto assets. They proposed this yesterday, and the proposal is positioned as a move towards clear, fit-for-purpose treatment of digital asset markets. And the broader theme is U.S. crypto policy moving from enforcement arguments towards an operating rulebook, which could be very, very well why we're starting to see the pump, is that maybe some really good news is coming. And, at some point that changes the whole game. And, you talk about the decoupling, you talk about, is the 4-year cycle still intact? At some point when the world says we're in, I think the 4-year cycle is kind of broken at that point. I'm a proponent. I do believe that we could be there already if we have not seen it yet. And so regulation, crypto assets is an important step toward the clear, fit-for-purpose rules digital assets markets in the United States have needed. That's a quote from the articles that we had pulled up this morning. And the key takeaway for our W3BC media and in the community, the J-Chain Silver Bulls, everybody that's watching right now, this is potentially the major market structure story. That we're seeing a big pump today. There is other reasons why. We know that the U.S. Treasury is planning to double their debt buybacks, and that will boost market liquidity. The SEC is trying to define how crypto fits inside the U.S. securities regulation instead of relying only on case-by-case enforcement. So we're going to see some stuff. Are you sure that it's going to pump? Because the people I'm hearing are saying that it has to dump first and then bull run will start. Are you just talking about a small pump? Yeah, Chuckle Coin. Really quick. Yeah, I am at the beginning of the show. I've been in this game. I've been in the market. I've been through several cycles. I trust pumps like this. I trust them as much as I would trust a crave case of White Castle at 3 a.m. after a fucking night of drinking. You know what I mean? There will be a sell-off. It doesn't just go up forever. There is no clear catalyst. There is this buy the rumors, sell the news, all that kind of shit. There's all sorts of things in play here. We are excited that there is a pump, but at the end of the day, cautiously optimistic because there is so many different factors. Again, it could be a liquidity flush. It could get people fucking excited, throw in longs, and then we dip down. We have not seen a $15,000. We haven't seen a $10,000 candle in so long. We used to see 5K candles, 10K candles in these things. No, we haven't seen any of that shit. And now that we are much bigger, I expect a $15,000 candle, right? BlackRock has the chops to be able to do that. They control the show. Look at the IBIT compared to everything else. So, absolutely, Chuck. We're cautiously optimistic. We are, we're not longing the top of the market. We're certainly hitting the hopium joint, because at some point, it is the turnaround in the market. But again, there's no catalyst that I've heard that would cause this to be the bull run. Because when we hit the bull run, it will be the bull run of all bull runs. And this is potentially just a relief rally. I'm gonna bring you back here really quick in case you missed this, because we went over Bitcoin first. And really quick, but goalie by the top. This is what I really want to just show everybody in case you're just tuning in. It's this. This is the Bitcoin chart. This is the weekly Bitcoin chart, right? And we know back in October when we topped out right here, we saw a pop down, and then we consolidate on an upward trend. It's a bearish consolidation because the next move is down. We did it again right here in November, right? Boom. We consolidated on an upward trend, and then we dropped back down. We hit a bottom here in February. We did an upward consolidation to May, and then what happened? Boom, we dropped down. We are doing this now where we're consolidating on an upward trend. At some point, if this continues to follow what we've been doing, we're okay with even more of a pump, even up to like 78, 80,000, whatever it is, as long as we don't make a new high. As long as there's not a new high, the lower lows and the lower highs structure is intact, and we continue. You're in a downtrend until you are not. So, all right, it will be the book. Crypto Stash, dude. It's funny that you say that. That's my homie, dude. Shay's my homie. And I'm actually going to be going out to LA at the end of the month for the Solana Summer House. And we got plans to grab dinner. I think either that like Friday or maybe at some point on that Saturday or something. So I am super excited to see my homie Stash. I miss him as well. I know he's been taking care of business. He's in a new band. We were talking about that the other day. We were text messaging back and forth, and so I'm super juiced to see him and to be out in LA in just a few weeks here for the Solana Summer House thing. So if y'all are out there, tap in. Let's connect. Okay, let's get back to our news. Get into the next one. Crypto executives head to the White House as the clarity stalls. Barron's reports leaders from tech and crypto firms, including Coinbase and Ripple, plan to meet with Trump Wednesday. That was today. Today's the day. Maybe that's what we saw. Reuters reports major crypto legislation remains stalled, increasing the importance of agency-level policy. And the meeting puts the SEC, the FTC, and industry directly into the same policy conversation. And so, look, if the Senate can't get it done, I bet the SEC and the CFTC make more sense for them to be doing this anyway. So let's figure this out. Our key takeaway for the W3BC crew is Washington still trying to build crypto rules while Congress struggles to finish comprehensive legislation. Agency action could matter more in the near term. Exactly what I just said. So there you go. Our next article that we got here today, Treasury proposes U.S. stablecoin issuance rules. The U.S. Treasury Department proposed rules defining what counts as issuing, offering, or selling payment stablecoins in the U.S. Separately, the Financial Auditing Standards Board proposed that certain stablecoins could qualify as cash equivalents. And together, the stories show stablecoins moving deeper into payments, accounting, and regulated financial infrastructure. Our key takeaway on this one is stablecoins are increasingly being treated as financial plumbing rather than a crypto niche, which raises the stakes for rules around issuance, accounting, and reserves. This is like the infrastructure stuff that we've been talking about. Again, I've been saying this what feels like a year now. And obviously, when you looked at the price of Bitcoin, especially on the long-term chart, we've been sliding for a while now. So it makes sense that we've been saying this, is that we're looking at a bullish divergence. I mean, you look at some of the best news, like adoption of blockchain is happening on a fundamentally structural level. But price might be going, I know it's going up today, but price is continuing to slide down. At some point, that's going to reverse. That is going to reverse. Tokenized securities exemption delayed as Washington prioritizes clarity. A planned tokenized securities innovation exemption was delayed as the White House prioritizes the Clarity Act. The proposal would have offered a conditional path for domestic crypto firms to issue, custody, and trade tokenized equities and money market funds. And Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev is simultaneously pressing U.S. policymakers to clear a path for tokenized stocks. Our key takeaway here: demand for tokenized markets is moving faster than the rule book. The U.S. risks losing product experimentation overseas if a domestic framework takes too long. That's what we've been fucking crying about the whole time, is that we're losing so much innovation to China and to other parts of the world because our grubby hands, right? Bureaucrats, red tape, all that shit just keeps getting in the way. Let's set it up. Let's make it happen. You never know. This conversation today might have been the fuel and the fire that we needed. SharpLink institutional ownership climbs to roughly 60%. Investing News Network and GlobesWire report institutional ownership of SharpLink has climbed up about 60%. The report increase as 12 percentage points quarter over quarter, and the coverage frames the move as continued institutional endorsement of SharpLink's treasury strategy. The key takeaway: institutional participation is becoming a measurable part of the digital asset treasury story, rather than just a retail narrative. And we know that, guys. Like, retail is not here. They got smoked out. There is no reason for retail to come back. They're not going to come back until they are in a safer place. And as we're starting to see, institutions are implementing, once we see our banks implement and retail can participate in crypto through their bank, that to me is the slam dunk. That's when this true retail crowd will come back, and I don't think it's going to be a moment sooner. We'll have pops, we'll have metas that churn some liquidity and all that stuff, but retail, as we know it, is not coming back until there's a reason for them to come back. Let's see. The market is moving. I'll drop you a little bit in news. If you don't know, English is not talking very much about crypto. However, if you listen in Spanish, Portuguese, or Hindi, yeah, I'm telling you, dude, other parts of the world are way more advanced in what's going on in crypto than what we are, for sure. Like, make no doubt about that. I'm with you. All right, let's go to our next news article here. We have got Fed minutes arrive with Treasury yield still elevated. CNBC reported the 2-year Treasury yield fell more than 2 basis points to 4.154% ahead of the FOMC meeting minutes. Yahoo Finance reports the implied chance of September rate hike fell nearly 100% in late July to roughly 1/3. And markets are balancing inflation pressure, high borrowing costs, and expectations for the Fed next move. 2-year Treasury roughly right there. All right, so our takeaway on this: rates remain one of the biggest cross-asset drivers. Crypto and equities are trading inside a macro environment where bond market expectations can move quickly. All right, let's move to our next article. We got a few more, and then we're going to head over to AI and technology. This one is about BlackRock. They are keeping their institutional Bitcoin thesis in focus. They published a new piece titled Re-Underwriting Bitcoin, focused on the recent pullback, market drivers, and Bitcoin's potential portfolio role. Crypto Briefing reports BlackRock clients bought in $143.57 million of Bitcoin through the IBIT in a single day, and he was also testing around 65,000 at the alert coverage. So even during price weakness, institutional portfolio construction around Bitcoin remains active. The story is less about one day's price and more about persistent access through ETF rails. And like I've been saying, guys, you can go to CoinGlass yourself. You can look at the ETF data. You can look at the inflow, outflow. If you pay attention to what BlackRock iBit shares is doing, that controls the show. 100% unequivocally, mark my words, make no doubt about it. Period. End of story. Mic drop. Tokenized U.S. Treasuries add $65.1 million in a week. Reports Securitized, JP Morgan, and Franklin Templeton added a combined $65 million to tokenized U.S. Treasury market cap in 1 week. The same development was echoed by KuCoin. Okay. And the institutions involved show tokenized treasuries continuing to move into mainstream financial distribution. The takeaway is tokenized treasuries remain one of the clearest real-world use cases for blockchain rails because they combine familiar assets with new settlement and distribution infrastructure. Things about to get wild in 15 minutes. Trump goes live. Holy Toledo. We could see the market nuke one way or the other. One way or the other. All right, we'll try to wrap this up so we can participate and watch that too. And I am gonna be playing some blackjack in a little bit here. So if you guys want to tap in, let's do that. 15 minutes. We got to figure out where that's gonna be. If he's gonna be streaming on X, I can pipe that in very easily. All right, let's see. Wall Street's $7.1 trillion money fund industry moves on chain. The Globe and Mail highlights the $7.1 trillion money fund industry moving toward on-chain infrastructure with collateral as an early use case. The framing centers on traditional finance, adapting fixed practices to blockchain settlement and collateral, and this sits directly inside the institutional on-chain finance trend. Collateral may be one of the fastest paths for blockchain in traditional finance markets because institutions already understand the asset. The innovation is in settlement and movement. Love to hear that. All right, last article here. Tokenized stock ownership reportedly doubles to 1.3. Didn't we just say 1.4 trillion or million? I thought we might have done this. It might have been a different stat on a different thing. Jerusalem Post reports tokenized stockholders double to 1.3. Oh, holders doubled to 1.3 million. The same report says trading volume has risen into the billions as crypto platforms compete with traditional market infrastructure, and this reinforces the pressure on U.S. regulators to decide how tokenized equities should operate domestically. User adoption is beginning to give tokenized equities a demand side story, not just a technology story. This is something I was going to shoot a video about this yesterday, and I started to, and then it kind of got away from me. We're now at the part, like, for so long, it's everybody just told us what's going to happen, and you just tell you. Now it's actually happening. We can see this. There are numbers and stats that we can prove that it is being used, and so it is a huge opportunity, massive opportunity. Churches are accepting donations in crypto. That's interesting. People understand it's going to be the new way to transact. Crypto is, and so good on them. I would think that it would be advantageous for the dropping coins, the meme coins. There's already 56 million coins. Like, who cares? But as time goes on, and as companies and projects and churches, organizations, whatever develop, for them to have their own token for their own ecosystem makes sense. So that you can participate, donate, buy, support, all that stuff. And so maybe that's where this goes. I've been saying that for a long time about we're the idea of meme coins is really good for small businesses to take on as their ecosystem, as their own financial realm, if that makes sense. All right, let's do this. Let's hop over to AI and technology. We got a few here. IBM, more capable AI agents require more human judgment. IBM is arguing that more important oversight and accountability is what we're going to need as AI agents become more capable. The focus is not simply agent capability, but how organizations govern what agents are allowed to do. And this is an enterprise adoption problem, much as a model performance problem. The winning agent systems may be the ones businesses can trust, audit, control, not the ones that act the most autonomously. That makes sense. Fetch, there we go. Let's take a look at that. We'll take a look at that chart. Snowflake pushes the context layer for enterprise AI agents. Context is becoming infrastructure. Better models alone do not solve enterprise AI if the agent cannot reliably understand company data. CIO, not every problem needs an AI agent. We can understand that. Lancaster University is targeting quantum AI. Their goal is to build intelligent systems around emerging quantum capabilities. Quantum AI is still early, but the research direction matters because future compute architects could change what kinds of AI problems are practical. Anthropic, let's get some Anthropic news. They're preparing founder super voting power ahead of their IPO. Reuters reports Anthropic has been preparing a class of stock with extra voting power for CEO Dario Amodei and other co-founders. The structure is intended to help insulate founders from outside pressure after an IPO. The story raises questions about governance as frontier AI companies mature into public market institutions. AI become an infrastructure inside the media business. Hey, let's take a look at this one. The media leader says the 2026 media conversation has shifted from AI as potentially useful tool to AI embedded in the industry infrastructure. The changes touches content, advertising, commerce, operating workflows, on all of them. For creators and media companies, the competitive question is increasingly how deeply AI is integrated into production and distribution. AI is moving from novelty to workflow. Media companies that treat it only as a content generator may miss the larger operational shift. 100%. 100. I'm using it to build, using it to help, to assist, everything, man, everything. It is such a fantastic tool. I hope you guys are all using your AI. It's your boy Jay. What's up, G? About your thoughts on the wallet. Do you think Robinhood made this token for whatever reason? We got to take a look at that. I'll have to. I don't know anything about the token wallet. My boy Jay. I'll take a look in just a second here. We're gonna, when we get into the trenches. If you got a CA, drop a CA, and I can pull that up very easily when we get into the trenches, because I got something I'm excited to show you guys about in just a few minutes here. All right, this is a report. Mystery company burned $500 million on Claude in a month. Tom's Hardware surfaced a report describing a mystery company that allegedly spent $500 million on Claude AI in a single month. Could you imagine your employees just going crazy and all of a sudden you're like, where's our fucking money? The headline illustrates how expensive frontier model usage can become at extreme scale. The underlying business question is whether AI spend is generating enough measurable value to justify compute costs. If you're using it right, it should. If you're just burning it, and then no. The next phase of enterprise AI will be judged on economics as much as capability. Usage can scale faster than ROI if companies do not control workflows. If you got to see I was kind of surprised about the latest hardware wallet hack. Well, there's been a couple now. Yeah, dude, all the wallet hacks are crazy. It's you got to be safe out there. And I know, like with one of the big ones that at the I forget the name of it, that just recently happened, where people weren't connected. It was offline, all that stuff. Like, that's one of the scariest things you can imagine. Even if you are taking your security at the utmost, your operational security at the utmost importance, you're at the mercy of others, and so finding the right solution is I think something we all got to work on for sure. But yeah, drop the it's your boy Jay. Drop the CA in the chat, or DM to me, and then let me know what platform you sent me a DM on, and I'll get it pulled up when we get to the trenches. Because next we are going to get into sports, baby. Sports. Guys, make sure you smash the like button. I appreciate you being here. There's a million other things you could be doing. There's 1,000 other places you could be. It's the afternoon. You could be working. Actually, if you're working and you're tuning in, let's go, dude. I appreciate you getting paid to watch, and hopefully you'll get double paid because we're going to go over some things. And, hopefully with some of the coins we're looking at, and we've been talking about like Chainlink for a while now, you're in it. You're up if you got it in the $7 range, $8 range, even the $9 range. Shit, dude, this shit's over at $10. Let's go. All right. Roger Goodell says an NFL team outside the U.S. is inevitable. I'm not sure that I like that at all, but it is what it is. It's growth for the sport. They've been playing, in Europe for several years, and I believe there are more games throughout the world this year than before. So it does make sense that to scale and to bring such a fun game to other people. Because look, I tell you what, dude, I hate soccer with a passion. It is such a horrible sport. It is lame to watch. The players are weak. It is a bunch of beta males running around. And obviously, there's female soccer too, but flipping and flopping. Someone looks at you wrong and you fall down like you broke your leg. Like, give me a break, dude. Like, I know there are other sports like rugby and other things that are more manly than NFL. They don't even wear pads. I get it, but dude, I grew up in the States. Football's my game. It's football season. Let's go. I'm a Bears fan. Hopefully we'll get a chance to go to a Bears game this year in Chicago. It's probably our last year there, going to Indiana. Yay. But they are coming to Atlanta this year in October. Falcons, Bears, I'll be there. Let's go. Smash the like if you are an NFL fan. If you are also in the chat and you are an NFL fan, drop your team down the chat. And if you're a college fan, you can drop your college team. I want to know football teams. Who's your favorite football team? Could be college, could be pro. No matter. Drop it in the chat. Thank you, bro. All right. Yeah, I'll definitely take a look at it, man, for sure, for sure. All right. So ESPN reports Roger Goodell said he has no doubt the NFL will eventually have teams based outside the U.S. Comments came in an interview with former NFL player Marcus Kuhn. International expansion remains one of the league's biggest long-term growth questions. Let's see. 2026 Major League Baseball playoff picture tightens. Let's see. We've got the Dodgers bouncing back while the Cubs and Phillies surge for the playoff picture. Let's go, Cubs. I'm a Cubs fan. You know that. I'm a Bears fan. I'm a Cubs fan. I'm a Hawks fan. I'm a Bulls fan. Let's go. I do, and Hawks, Blackhawks in hockey. I do like, and I enjoy going to the games here. I've been to the Atlanta Hawks. I've been to the Falcons. I've been to the soccer team, the United, and been to several Braves games. They're fun, man. I enjoy it, but you know, your heart is where your home is. And I grew up outside of Chicago, man. So definitely a Chicago sports team fan. Cubs are sitting atop the wild card standings after a walk-off win. How about that? August baseball shifting from season-long narratives, positioning for October. We're getting there, man. It is August 17th, August 19th, and the playoffs start in October. So let's go. The playoff race is now the cleanest Major League Baseball conversation. Who is peaking, who's fading, and which contenders are built. Used to follow Ohio State University really close. Now I root from a home state. There you go. There you go. Let's see. Brewers history. They made a history. 22-0 win over Seattle. Down with Seattle, dude. I believe they didn't they take us out last year or something? Something happened with Seattle. I don't like Seattle. Seattle, whatever. Let's go to UFC Sacramento. Hernandez versus Rodriguez headlines coming up at this weekend. Middleweight finishers Anthony Hernandez versus Gregory Rodriguez headline the UFC return to Sacramento August 22nd at the Golden One Center. Matchup gives the Sports Desk a timely fight preview heading into the weekend. We'll take a look at that stuff later in the week. We'll get the odds put up for the UFC on the page on the betting desk in a minute. Tyson Fury teases a major fight announcement. Sky Sports reports Tyson Fury teased a major fight announcement, and boxing speculation continues. Everybody thinks it's going to be him versus Anthony Joshua. We'll see. Eddie Hearn and Dana White are part of the surrounding Joshua Fury conversation. And let's see what's going on there. BMW in the golf world. BMW Championship stays in focus on the golf board. Sporting Life published BMW Championship betting tips, including Adam Scott at a 55-1 each way. The tournament gives the sports and betting desks another live event. Here we go. Dodgers. It's your boy Jay, a Dodgers fan. Let's go. Let's see. John Rahm reportedly set to settle a $25 million fine for a PGA Tour reinstatement. The NBA schedule release shifts attention towards the 26-27 season. And the NFL hot season begins before week 1. Speaking of the NFL season, Tyson Fury, not Mike Tyson. Did I say Mike Tyson? I might have said Mike Tyson. I'm pretty sure I said Tyson Fury, but you never know. The brain moves pretty quick. I might have said Mike Tyson. Just saw Tyson and went with it. You never know. All right, let's take a look at the betting desk, guys. Here we go. Here's some of the action that we're looking at coming up at the NFL season later this week. Tonight, we've got a game. We've got the Pats versus the Seahawks. You've got the Patriots. Looks like they got the best line for the best price on the money line. Take that. Seahawks are they're given 3.5 points over under 44. I would take that. It looks like if the market's at 44.5, take the over at 44. That could be a good one. Tomorrow there's a game. I thought there was 2 games tonight. Maybe I'm mistaken. There's a game tomorrow. You got the 49ers at the Rams. I would be off that one. I'm looking at the Bears Panthers for sure. Panthers are getting 3 points. But I'll be taking a look at probably some props. I want to probably drill this out so we're not just looking at money lines and spreads and over unders and stuff. I think I want to take a look and see what would be the best props to get into for this, right? And especially, with the intelligences, I got to probably do a little bit better with this because I want to know, if the Panthers defense is coming in and they look like they're going to be bums this season. We want to make sure that what are we looking at for the Bears offense to produce, that kind of stuff. We gotta step up the intelligence on this a little bit more after going through this. But I think the whole idea of looking at what some of the best options are and looking at the lines and seeing which games are coming up. So we've got NFL, we got some college football, we got Major League Baseball. What is happening today? We've got the Tigers at the Pirates. Pirates giving a point. You've got the Padres and the Mets. The Mets getting a point and a half. You got the Braves and the Twins. Twins getting a point and a half. So you could take the Braves on that one. Over under 9 points. I probably would want to take the under on that. It has the potential to get out of control. You never know. But so these are things that we're going to start looking at more. I probably want to change so the way that this information is kind of being looked at and displayed. We pulled an API from an odds site so that we can get a lot of the different, and it pulls, aggregates all the different sites so that we get the best odds, and we're taking an idea of, look, because like this tells you on FanDuel here, the DraftKings over here. So we're finding the best odds that we can find and send you guys, if you are doing some sports booking, where you should be finding these, find the action at. That's baseball, NBA. Anything big we got going on? That says Tuesday. Today is Wednesday, isn't it? It is hump day. Yeah, so we'll have to reschedule this. This probably still maybe be pulling from yesterday or from later, yesterday evening or something. All right. So that's the sports book stuff. And then from here, what I would like to do, one, tell you guys, make sure that you smash the like button. I know the whole idea of us getting into some casino stuff, getting into some betting, getting into some trenches. We've done all the news. We looked at the market. We did all the high level things. Now we'll have a little fun. I know that the nice peptides. Oh, we should be doing. We should be doing. No party night. Been cutting the fat and dropped 45 pounds this year. Chuck, good for you. Same. I cut the shit out. I stopped drinking several months ago. I was, I fought in December in Dubai at I think I weighed in at 213, something like that, 214, somewhere around there. And after the fight, was hurt, injured, feeling bad for myself, yada yada, make all the excuses. Got back up to like damn near close to 250, and then I realized what was going on. All that shit happens real fast, and then from there. Got real serious again about what was going on and dieted. I did a 5-day fast. I've been dieting, working out, eating much better, not drinking, all that stuff. So we're down below 220. So the whole goal was to get down to 205. Be ready to cut down below 200 for a fight in October. But as it sounds, I don't believe the fight is happening in October. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. All right, let's go back here. Let's get into some trenches, and we'll from there, we'll see what we're gonna do. I want to make sure that we also understand what's happening with the whole Trump thing. So if we got to pull that up, or if you guys want to give me updates, has that gone live yet? Let's see. We can always let's go X. Is it from the White House? I'm going to take a look and see. The White House is live. Let's go. We will begin shortly. Now, let's see if we go into the casino. All right. We'll just reshape this a little bit. So when this comes up, we'll know. All right, let's reset this. We're going to play some blackjack until the president comes on. Actually, no. We wanted to get into the trenches. That's what I wanted to do. Before we don't get a chance. So we'll see what happens when the president goes back on. Let's see. The site has got volume. Do we have volume on the video? All right, so we'll know when this goes back up. All right, let's get into this trenches. I'm super excited to show you guys this. This is what I'm calling the black box. That is just the working title for it. We will we'll get a bit different name for it, all this stuff. But this is our trench intelligence. This is what I'm using to be able to go in and look at coins and see where are things at. Is this something I want to get invested in? Is it a project that we want to partner with? All that kind of stuff. And so obviously, we came locked and loaded with the JChains token, the chart up. You can see all the information about it. Here's where we're at. We were in a downward trend. We have been going down. We've been getting sell-offs and then a little bit of a rally and then a sell-off, much like what I've been talking about with Bitcoin. What was going on? Except for, look at this. Today we popped up out of our downtrend. We're sitting at a 64, almost $65,000 market cap, and super excited. The direction of where we're taking this thing. We've got our community in the Discord that is we're building, we're developing, we're strategizing, we're clarifying, simplifying, we're doing all that stuff just to make sure that what we're offering to people is clear, that one, we have a meme coin, but it is also tied into an entire ecosystem that is going to have all sorts of fun things going on with it, from trenches to business to opportunities, and everything in between. IRL, a place to link up and meet up, all sorts of future utilities. So we are absolutely we are here, committed, building. We are long-term focused. Again, this ties into me in what I'm building. And not only that, we've got about 7.5% of the total supply stake through January of 2027. I've committed an additional 12% of the total supply. So we're almost at 20% of the total supply is completely locked up. I have been given 60%. Everything else has been allocated into wallets for future growth, partnerships, marketing. We've got fantasy football. I funded enough tokens for 3 seasons of fantasy football. So with buy-ins and what we've got, we can pay out every week at the end of the season, all that stuff. And again, we've got the longevity of 3 seasons. Plus, as we go on, hopefully we'll be taking in more for the treasury, therefore the fantasy football treasury. So it is in perpetuity. Every year, we fund another season into it. So that is just always going on. So those are some of the things that we are cooking up in the JChains ecosystem. So I implore you guys to check it out. Join our community. We have an X community. We have our Discord. Like I said, we are token gating the JChains aspect of it. So you can get into the bullpen that is token gated, that is only other holders. And, as long as you're a token holder, you've got that access. And once you sell or decide that you no longer be a part of the community, that's fine. Like there's no shame in that. Just understand that the access is revoked at that point, and it's through the token gated protocol that has been set up. Shout out to my guy Coley, who's putting all that stuff together in our Discord. My guy doing the work. Appreciate you, my brother. He's also set up the prediction markets. So if you guys want to participate in those prediction markets, that's a fun thing. There was the one about the SOL price. Is the price of Solana going to be at a certain level by today? That was a yes or no. Same thing with the fight about Keith. That's in their prediction. It's a yes or no. Is Keith going to win? Yes or no? Is it him or his opponent? You can get in there and you can sacrifice tokens and do all that stuff. So hop in the Discord, start playing. There's also the daily link that you can the daily chain that you go and you build a new chain link every single day, and it's kind of like a gamified way of checking in with the community and all that stuff. And so, boom, that is the JChains token and ecosystem in a nutshell. We'll be doing some more about this, but definitely excited that we pumped up out of our downward trend today. So, hopefully that $50-some thousand market cap that we saw recently, that was our bottom. And we just kind of go up from there, because we are not going to stop building. We're going to be attracting the right people, long-term investors with the right mindset, people that want to build, grow, and develop with us. That's what we're doing. We're not bringing in shillers. We're not bringing in people to dump the chart and wreck the chart. That is not what I want. I want people who understand and believe in the vision, that want to participate, and then watch us be successful, and be successful yourself, because that's the whole model of everything is about everybody becoming successful and sharing in that upside. So, all right, let's go. I was gonna say don't. Yeah, I didn't launch it. It was launched for me, and I took it over gladly. It's got my name on it. We're working it into the entire ecosystem. I've definitely. I will tell you guys unequivocally. It has been some lumps, dude. I feel like it's been. I've been beaten up a little bit here and there throughout the whole process. But at the end of the day, I'm excited about where we are headed and the community that we're building with and how we're building it and where it's going to go. And I'm really excited about our next phase. I found a location that I absolutely would love to move the physical studio into, and so I've got to get in touch with my legal team, and then call the real estate and figure this whole thing out. But the plan of moving forward with our first IRL business being mine that we tokenize and put together, that's in the plan, and we are putting that forward. So I hope that you guys are excited as I am as far as that goes, and that's where we're headed there. All right, so join the community, ask questions. I'm an open book. Again, I have 60% of the supply. I have allocated 12% to the staking vault, and so I no longer control that. That now is being trickled out to the community on a monthly basis over the next 2 years. Okay. And that's my long-term commitment. And if I have to add more, I will. We did an interview with the co-founder, Senator Paul of Pantheon, just this last weekend, and that went out earlier this week. That's something I want you guys to watch and take a very, very close look at. That is going to be a direct relationship into the success of our ecosystem, plus all the partnerships that we develop and grow, and how that's built out. And just watch. All I got to tell you is just watch. Like, that is going to be a massive opportunity. And so again, 20% is already locked up for now, and we'll continue to, that will develop and grow. I know several other people who are holders who are learning about the whole staking process, because the one thing that I think and with rightfully so, that they are coming to understand is when they do sacrifice their tokens and put them into the staking vault, those are no longer in your wallet. But as it turns out, there are ways for, and we talked about this in the video with Paul about Pantheon, there are ways to end your stake. There is a penalty, as most staking platforms have. And with that, what's cool is if someone does say, I'm tapping out, I'm pulling my staking, and and they're getting taxed, then there's like a 10% tax, a 20% tax, depending on how you're doing it. If you wait the cool out period, or if you do pull it out now, you are taxed either 10 or 20%. That actually goes back to the community. That goes back into the vault. And so the people who do stick around and keep their tokens, they are getting better APR, because that incentivizes the community for sticking around. So let's go. All right, let's do this. Let's shift over. This is another coin that I want to look at. This is the homies over on Good. This is Robinhood. As you guys know, they had their launch just recently. Something is going on. Something is cooking. And I got to tell you what, look at this, baby. This thing is about ready to shed a zero. Today, Pumpamentals are strong. And I'm part of the whale group. I was part of a call this morning, or this afternoon, excuse me. And I understand that there is some major activity going. And remember, this is on Robinhood, and Robinhood is a new chain. There is a lot of things and a lot of attention. There are no chosen leaders yet. I think with a ticker, the domain of just hashtag good is absolutely insane. That's such a good ticker. But jokes aside, I mean, it is absolutely positioned in a spot where, look, it's about at a zero, and a 10x from there. You're at a penny, and this potentially could be the one that sits in the multi-million, up in tens of millions or hundreds of millions. You never know the attention that it gets. But on a day like this, when you see this fucking rip 152%, and it has not gotten sold off, I would be watching this. Momentum is hot. Now let's take a look and see what the black box is saying, because the black box has got some good information. The red flags and confirmations right here. As you can see, there's nothing red. You got one little yellow. But right here, it says visible liquidity, $161,000 on a $691,000 market cap project. You have got A really, really good liquidity to market cap ratio is at 23.3%. That's massive, guys. You're not going to see much of that. Volume liquidity activity looks at a usable at a 0.72x. Had 766 transactions in the last 24 hours. The buy sell flow is balanced, which you love to see that, and the momentum is positive across every time frame. It says most time frames, but look, let's look at the daily positive, 4-hour positive, 1 hour positive. There you go. President Trump is up. You guys can probably not hear that, can you? I'm gonna do this. We got to do audio. Can you guys hear him now? Check, check.
Where is he? Where are you? Oh, you look well. You get much younger. You look good. CEO of International and Intercontinental Exchange, Jeff Sprecher. One of the things, a little thing called the New York Stock Exchange. He owns a thing called the CEO of Ripple. Brad, thank you very much, Brad. Sergey Nazarov, co-founder of Chainlink Labs. Thank you very much. Good, Sergey.
Sergey's in the house. Let's go.
Arjan, you're here. Arjan, you're here. You haven't left. Peter Smith is here, and Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss have tremendous people, tremendous investors, brilliant people. Chris Dixon is here, and I think I've sort of got anybody I didn't mention, by the way. Pretty much got the whole group. Good. They gave me 4 sets of lists, and that's always a little complex. You never want to say one more than 3 times. Under
You guys
the
can hear now?
crooked Joe
Are we
Biden
back?
administration, the
Back to hearing?
spirit of innovation that built America was under serious attack like never before, and nowhere was that more true than crypto and other new financial technologies, where we were going to be taken to the cleaners by China and other countries. The radical left tried to crush these developments with crippling regulations, brutal restrictions, weaponization. They use weaponization, political weaponization, and constant targeting that drove innovation overseas, and they wanted to drive it out. And at the end of toward the end of the campaign, if you remember, they decided they liked it very much because there were over 100 million people that were liking Trump a lot more because I was in favor of it. They were against it, and they became very much in favor of it. But by that time, it was too late. And besides, those days are all over. That was a terrible period of time for a lot of very good, very honorable financial people. On day one, we fired Joe Biden's rogue SEC chair, Gary Gensler. I think we like Paul better. Do we agree? We like Paul better? Number one, he's smarter. He's also smarter, by the way. But we fired him. We got him the hell out of here. We terminated the so-called Operation Choke Point 2.0, which is what the name of their operation was, weaponization. And we ended the war on crypto once and for all. And it's been booming. It's been doing big. And nobody's been able to break in. China would like to break in. They're still trying, but they have been able to. I signed a historic executive order banning any attempt to create a central bank digital currency, We launched Project Crypto to modernize rules so that our financial markets can move into blockchain technology. I established the United States Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, making Bitcoin a permanent asset of the United States Treasury, which has turned out incredibly well. I also created the United States Digital Asset Stockpile to hold custody of all other digital assets, and that's exactly what it's done. It's been amazing. 1 year ago this summer, I signed landmark legislation known as the Genius Act. I named it after myself. I didn't want to use my name, so I just called it the Genius Act, paving the way for widespread adoption of dollar-backed stablecoins. And that's worked out very well. Every single American benefits enormously from our country's status as the financial center of the world, and we want to keep it that way. We're leading by leaps and bounds. We've gained so much in the last 16 months like nobody can believe, actually. Not only that, but we have more money being invested in the United States than any country at any time in history. Money's coming in by the trillions. Our nation's economic dominance drives trillions of dollars in investments, creates millions of jobs, and expands access, credit, and capital so that every citizen has a chance to achieve what we now hear a lot about, the American dream. Young people are looking for the American dream. They weren't thinking about that 2 years ago. New financial technologies are extending this American dominance into the 21st century, and that's why we're focused on creating a clear regulatory framework for pioneers and builders like the people that are with me here, so that they can do business with confidence on American soil. They don't have to go to other countries to do their business. We're ensuring that America remains the undisputed leader, not only in Bitcoin and crypto, but also technologies like prediction markets, artificial intelligence, and much more. And we're leading in every single one. And I will tell you, the AI, the artificial intelligence, we're way ahead of number two. Number two is China. And I never want to underestimate China, but right now we're way ahead. President Xi's coming on September 24th. We look forward to it. We'll probably be talking about AI and a lot of other things, but we're doing tremendously well, largely because of people and some other friends of ours that are on the board, and they'll be here in 2 weeks, I understand. In May, Chairman Selig authorized the first ever true Bitcoin perpetual futures contract on a CFTC registered exchange, first time. I understand that Mike is also working to bring Hyperliquid into the United States in a fully compliant and legal fashion. He's working very hard on that. We would really like to see interest rates come down. You know, in the old days with interest rates, many of you are too young to know this, but when we announced good numbers, interest rates would go down. And the theory was because the asset value became so good, it became so prime. But now when we announce good numbers, which we're doing all the time, they keep driving the interest rates up because they're so afraid of inflation. And they shouldn't be. They should allow interest rates to go down. When you announce good numbers, you shouldn't drive them up. They keep thinking that we'll drive them up to stop inflation, because success and growth does not cause inflation. Other things cause inflation. We inherited the #1 inflation ever in the history of our country from Biden, and it lifted prices and everything else, and we're getting them all down. But interest rates should be allowed to fall with the success of our country, not rise because of the success. But we're also on the very beginning of a revolution in fictional and financial. You take a look at some of the things that are being done on a financial basis and the financial technology that's the potential to create more jobs, opportunity, and wealth for all Americans. And that's what it's doing. It's creating jobs and great wealth. And I think that can't be better seen by the stock market. So we've had 80 in a short period of time, a year and a half. We've had 80 days where the stock market hit all-time highs. I haven't looked today. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't look. I don't want to look. But I hear it's good. But we've had 80 days, Jeff, where the stock market has hit an all-time high. And nobody's ever seen anything like that. And I think bringing it down to another level, and maybe a higher level from the standpoint of importance, 401ks have hit record highs on almost 40% of the time that I've been President of the United States, and that affects tens of millions of people. The 401ks are at record numbers. So 2 years ago, our country was dead, and now our country is the hottest country anywhere in the world. There's nobody close. No other country is close, and every country will admit it. So now we need Congress to take the next step by passing the Clarity Act, a fair version of the Clarity Act, and this landmark structure legislation. It's a very, very powerful structured legislation which will keep us ahead of China, keep us ahead of everyone else, will open the door to the next wave of innovations and innovators. So I'd like to ask Chairman Selig to say a few words and a little bit of the details about what we're doing, and then we'll follow it up with Chairman Atkins and Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong, Intercontinental Exchange CEO Jeff Sprecher, Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev, and Kraken CEO Arjan. So we have that all set, and let's get going. And you know what? If you want to speak for a very short period of time, that's okay too.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's an honor to be here with you and this exceptional group of business leaders. Thanks to your leadership, the era of political lawfare, debanking, and regulation by enforcement is over. Innovators like the people in this room are welcome to the White House, not railroaded to the big house. And the new frontier of finance is being built right here in the United States of America.
Trump like that one.
From day one, this president has been clear. America will not fall behind and allow other countries to take its place as the greatest country on earth to build a new technology, operate a business, and invest for the future. The world will run on the backbone of American technology. Under President Trump's leadership, we've codified the Genius Act, established a strategic Bitcoin reserve, drawn a clear line in the sand between crypto securities and commodities, launched the first U.S. crypto perpetual, and protected the rights of software developers. We've exiled Gary Gensler, defeated the anti-crypto army, and made the United States the crypto capital of the world. I'm proud to be working with Secretary Lutnick in the Department of Commerce as well to make America the compute capital of the world. This may be the most important commodity of our day. Some call it digital oil, and America needs to dominate these markets to win the AI race. We've also protected federally regulated prediction markets from rogue state attorneys generals like Letitia James, who seek to nullify federal law and drive these markets offshore to unregulated and foreign venues. American dominance in the technologies that will define the future remains unmatched. We are truly in a golden age of American innovation. Now, the United States has a choice. We can either write the rules that define the next generation of financial markets, or we can let other countries write them for us. With Congress advancing the Clarity Act towards the finish line, we stand ready to implement the bill once the president signs it. But we'll use every tool available to move the president's pro-innovation agenda forward in the meantime. Tomorrow at the inaugural meeting of the CFTC's Innovation Advisory Committee, I look forward to sharing more details on our regulatory path forward. A path forward that provides greater certainty for innovators while reinforcing confidence in our markets for decades to come. This president has assembled an extraordinary team of entrepreneurs, builders, investors, and business leaders advising in government, like David Sachs, of course, and Patrick Witt. This real-world experience has already brought valuable perspectives into policymaking, and it will continue to pay dividends for the American people. Innovation depends on regulatory clarity. Clear rules create confidence, confidence attracts investment, and investment creates jobs, strengthens our markets, and keeps the world's best talent building here in America. Mr. President, thank you again for your leadership and for making American innovation great again. The work we're doing now to shape the future of our great nation will do measures for decades to come. Now I'm honored to introduce the most pro-innovation, pro-free market SEC chairman in America's history, and it's not Gary Gensler, of course, it's Paul Atkins. So Mr. Chairman, please.
Well, thank you, Mike, and thank you, Mr. President, for having us here today. From day one, you've made our nation's financial dominance and innovation job one. We at the SEC are delivering on your agenda. We're making IPOs great again, to continue on your theme, by cutting red tape that discourages companies from going public. Under your leadership, Mr. President, the IPO market is booming. Since Inauguration Day, 583 companies have gone public, and that's up 75% compared to the final year and a half of the Biden administration. And those companies have raised an impressive $208 billion, and that's nearly 4 times the amount raised during the final year and a half of the previous administration. So that's just not incremental progress, that is a turnaround. You've committed to making the United States the crypto capital of the world. And yesterday, the SEC, I'm proud to say, took another significant step to deliver on that. Our proposal, the crypto assets rule, would provide crypto entrepreneurs like those here in this room and job creators the certainty to raise capital in the United States using digital assets. This action is consonant with our belief that the most important priority is for Congress to send the Clarity Act to your desk for your signature. And the SEC is doing everything we can to support that work. So thank you again, Mr. President, for leading this nation to ensure that we continue to have the strongest markets in the world, to reshore innovation, and to welcome, yes, a whole new generation of investors through the Trump accounts. So under your leadership, we will make sure that the greatest advances of the technological frontier are right here in America. Thank you very much.
Yeah, hell yeah. Let's go. There he is. Uncle Brian.
Well, this morning I was thinking back to the 2024 campaign where the president, I think, very astutely recognized there was millions of voters in the United States who felt disenfranchised by the prior administration. And he made a commitment at that time to make America the crypto capital of the world. And within weeks of taking office, delivered on that promise. And it started first with this executive order, which came out ordering the agencies in his administration to take steps in this direction. He shortly thereafter appointed two of the most competent and pro-innovation regulators anywhere in the world, Chair Selig and Chair Atkins, and of course fired Gary Gensler. There was that big applause line at the Bitcoin conference, which was powerful. And of course, the Genius Act was another milestone just in the past year, along with the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, et cetera. And just this week, I have to commend Chair Atkins for publishing this new rule that allows crypto projects to raise capital in the U.S. for the first time. There's clarity on that. And Chair Selig, we're excited to attend the advisory committee meeting tomorrow to make progress there. So an incredible amount of progress has been made, and I think what's most important next, of course, is this September 15th vote that we have with the Clarity Act. This would make all of the progress that this administration has made durable into the future, so it could survive for decades and decades to come. And make no mistake, there are folks out there who they want to see this legislation not happen, right? Maybe some of the big banks that don't want the competition from crypto companies. Other banks are leaning in and have endorsed it, which I think is really powerful. And so if we all come together, I think we can get this bill over the finish line and hopefully get more than 60 votes come September 15th.
Let's go.
And it's very bipartisan, I would say. So
very
much.
That is true.
A lot of Democrat support.
There's hundreds of pages of changes that have come in from the Democrat side as well. It's a true bipartisan compromise, and yeah, it's a great work product. So up next, I think, is Jeff Sprecher.
Good job, Uncle B.
Mr. President, I just wanted to tell you that that your trade policies of fair trade to bring back jobs and businesses from overseas, your energy dominance policies to fuel the next generation of technology in the United States, your big beautiful bill that created incentives for investments has led to the records that you're hearing about in our stock markets, the record number of IPOs. And as you know from working with my wife who works on private businesses, there's a record number of business formations in this country right now. So we're here to talk about how to evolve regulation so that we don't impede that progress. But one of the things I can tell you about the New York Stock Exchange is that it was formed at the time of our country. And so it, for 250 years, has been subject to every single financial services regulation that has ever passed in the United States, bar none. And so one of the things that I'm so thankful that you've done is put two really strong chairs in these seats and ask them to go through past legislation, regulation, and figure out what we can get rid of that no longer serves the interests of this country. And for that, I really appreciate that on behalf of the New York Stock Exchange.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Oh, stiffed him on the handshake. Damn. Vlad's got his notes.
Mr. President, thank you for bringing us together and for your work to ensure the next generation of Americans has a stake in the country's economic success through the Trump accounts and many other things. Thank you also to Chair Selig, Chair Atkins, your administration, for the work underway to strengthen American capital markets and expand opportunity for all Americans. If I had to sum up Robinhood in one word, it would be ownership. Broad ownership is essential to a free, stable, and prosperous society. That belief has shaped pretty much every product we've built, from commission-free investing to 24-hour trading, and now outside the United States to tokenization, which we're using to expand ownership of American assets to people in more than 120 countries. Yet this innovation is reaching investors abroad before investors here back home. And the opportunity goes far beyond public markets. Tokenization will open up markets that have long been out of reach, including private companies. Today, too much economic value is being created before ordinary investors get a chance to participate. Expanding ownership also requires protecting investors. Innovation and investor protection aren't opposing goals. America became the world's capital markets capital by doing both, and the chairs here understand that. American companies are building this technology. American markets are powering it. American assets are also at the center of it. American investors should not be the last to benefit. We look forward to continue to work together to expand ownership, build the next generation of capital markets, and ensure America leads the way. Thank you. Arjun.
Hello, everyone. I was thinking about what I was going to say today. Most of the time, I don't speak too much, but the first time I met the president, he said, "What does your company do?" And I said, we're a startup. We move at warp speed. And the first thing he said is, "Why not at Trump speed?" So we started acting that way. Look, our mission at Kraken isn't about Kraken. Brian created Coinbase. Vlad here, you have ICE, NASDAQ. They created the world markets. And all we're trying to do is make sure that everyone in America has the ability to be able to succeed in the same way that we did. And that's essentially how we think about it. So our motto at Kraken has been fix money, we fix the world. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, or if anybody else of this very distinguished, would somebody like to say something? My male models who happen to be
Jesus.
They're brilliant and they look good, right? But anybody, would you like to say something? Go ahead, please.
Just want to thank you, Mr. President, for all of your leadership. America should lead in crypto and win in markets like prediction markets.
Zwinkelwein.
With your leadership and your administration, you're helping America lead here and become the crypto capital of the world. So thank you very much. I just want to thank you, Mr. President, as well as Chairman Atkins and Chairman Selig for the great work that they're doing.
This is a little... There he is.
Yeah, I just want to say that what Chairman Selig and Chairman Atkins are doing, and the President
There he
has
is,
enabled
Sergey.
with his leadership, is actually working. So if you look at stablecoin usage and adoption, it's increasing the usage and distribution of the US dollar at higher and higher levels than our industry has ever seen, specifically because of the Genius Act and the movement of more and more treasuries into stablecoins and therefore into more and more hands across the world. And now the tokenization of equities, thanks to Chairman Selig's and Chairman Atkins' great work and collaboration and actual work together rather than working against each other as before, is going to distribute US equities globally and increase the distribution of those. So, we power a lot of these applications and companies, so we know what the numbers actually are, and they're massively increasing.
Late Marines, let's go.
Regulators and leadership that enables the success and distribution of these US-based assets. So there's actually a very real and tangible outcome that's really now benefiting the US and adoption of US issued assets and the US dollar. So I just want to mention that it really is working and hitting all-time highs. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. You guys know Sergey Nazarov, SN,
If you have any
Satoshi
questions,
Nakamoto.
We have a meeting next week with the AI people. The top people are coming in, so we can talk about that. But we're leading by a lot with AI. We want to keep it that way. We want to regulate, but we want to have it regulation where they can continue to lead, not regulation that's going to stifle a very important industry. I think maybe bigger than the internet, bigger than anything anyone's seen. And we're helping in that regard, especially with regard to allowing them to produce their own electricity, which everyone thought was crazy that it would never be approved. We're getting them fast 2 and 3 week approvals. They're building some of the greatest electric plants anywhere in the world because our grid is old and tired and weak. And they're actually giving the excess electricity into the grid, but they're building power plants that nobody's ever seen anything like it. We're not using the power from the grid. We're using brand new power. So it's a great thing. Because that misconception has been out there that we're taking electricity, we're actually creating electricity, and that's something I was proud of because that was my idea. Nobody believed it. Actually, it went along for 2-3 weeks. I said, "How come these guys aren't submitting?" Well, they thought that you were just kidding, because that's the way it's been in this country. Nobody would ever say a thing like that. But no, they're building power plants, the likes of which all different fueled, all different ways, but the likes of which we've never seen. The people that are in the power business said we're seeing things that we've never seen before because a very high level of
Hopefully
intelligence is doing
our
it.
power
So
bills go
it's
down.
been great. Okay, any questions? Yeah, please. Well, it's been talked about. I think I'd probably rely on Paul and the whole group for that. He'll make a decision. You guys will make a decision, and you'll let me know. But certainly, it's been talked about. It's taken a lot of pressure off the dollar. It's been very, very good for the dollar. And I think if you came in with recommendations, two of you, if you came in with some recommendations, I would certainly listen. It seems to be a pretty big subject. Yes, please. Go ahead. Right.
They always got the longest questions. You can't even hear them either.
Yeah. So I think it's a great question, and I think it's going to create a lot of jobs. It's going to create success. It's going to create tremendous innovation medically. I mean, they're coming up with already, amazingly, they came out with something today that I looked at it having to do, I won't go into the details, but having to do it with a pretty unstoppable disease, and all of a sudden they're coming up with answers that they never thought were possible and things that they never even would have thought about. So I think it's really creating jobs. And I can tell you one thing, if you look at our construction jobs right now, because we're building more plants, factories, things that really have something to do with the AI, but also car factories, car plants, they're moving into our country. Honda just announced, Toyota just announced they're moving their operations from Mexico, from Canada, from other places. We, by the way, probably have a deal with Canada. You probably saw that.
Hey, my Canadian brothers.
Very major tariffs were going on to Canada today. We delayed it for 3 days because I think we have a deal with the Prime Minister, and good deal for everybody. So that's good. But the construction jobs are enormous. We're building the biggest plants anywhere in the world. And I can say if I were the mayor of a town or the governor of a state and I had a chance to get a big plant in, an AI plant or a data center, I would absolutely want it because the jobs are enormous and the money paid, the taxes paid are just enormous. And if you don't take it, you're going to be left behind because there are plenty of places that want it. So I would say that maybe it can use a little public relations help.
Yeah.
But if I were a governor or mayor, I would want that plant in my community. And many of them are designed in a very beautiful way. It's really very positive. Okay, thank you.
A little off topic. So you mentioned Joe Biden and some of the past leadership, and it's been about 69 days since we've seen Mitch McConnell. Sometimes when you look at Congress, it looks like the House is
Yeah.
But I read a Cindy Adams column in the New York Post recently, and she talked about how we need term limits and someone needs to hold Congress accountable. Maybe you should be the person.
What's up, my Ninja Fourth? GM, brother. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah. So term limits are very popular with the public. I've seen it both ways. I've seen where people go in and they get termed out and they're very talented and they're at the height of their career, you know, politicians. And you end up with total rookies in there, nothing gets done. And I've seen it the other way where people are there too long. We see that all the time. I see both. I always like to say that a term limit is an election. You know, the public's pretty smart. You see that last night. We had some great success last night. The Republican Party had tremendous success last night. But I like to say that term limits should be elections. But I'm okay with term limits. Remember, the people that have to pass term limits are the people that are going to be voting on them to get out of office. So it's a little bit tough. That's not the easiest.
Oh, I didn't even see Brett Garlinghouse in the background
I'm okay
here.
with it one way or the other. I do think elections really turn people
He
out.
didn't get a chance to speak, though.
I'll ask you about Canada, but first, the Treasury Secretary says that we could see the most impactful sanctions on Iran this week. When will they come, and what else could be sanctioned on Iran?
Well, we have things that we could sanction. We have very draconian sanctions, and we'll see what happens. Right now, the strait is open. A lot of boats are coming through. People aren't reporting that, and that may slow down a little bit at some point. But right now, a lot of boats are coming through. The naval blockade has been extremely effective. Zero, I mean, literally while it's up, and that's been for quite a while, you know, except for a couple of little pauses where we opened it purposely with a deal. But the deal didn't terminate, you know, the deal didn't turn out to be what they said, you know, when they tell us one thing and they do another. But the blockade has been 100% successful. No boats have gotten into Iran, but they are getting in for other places. But we'll see. We're going to see what happens. It'll either be extremely good and oil prices are going to drop like a rock, or we'll continue to do exactly what we're doing. You know, they were talking about $350 a barrel, and it's today 84, 85. And we are getting a lot of oil out. But the other thing that's happened is people have found other alternatives, which they never thought about. Texas, Alaska, Louisiana, and other places. In addition, a lot of pipelines, record numbers of pipelines are being built.
Hey,
So
hey.
I think the Hormuz Strait's not going to be quite as important as it was in the past.
Now, on Canada, if I could ask you, you said that there's a deal, an agreement in place. Are you willing to lower tariffs on steel and aluminum?
Well, we're looking at that. Yeah. Well, we're getting zero for our farmers. You know, farmers have been hurt very badly by Canada, and they won't be paying any tariffs anymore. And we may bring some of the tariffs down to a level where other
Stop hurting our
countries,
farmers,
because
Canada.
was paying a higher tariff. Canada was paying us a higher tariff. So we are, look, we have a very nice relationship with leadership right now, and we'll see. But we did a 3-day pause. It was supposed to be a 50% straight across the board tariff. That was going into effect at 7 o'clock this morning, and I delayed it at the request of Canada for 3 days so we can iron out the details. But it's going to be a wonderful deal, hopefully a wonderful deal for everybody. Yeah.
Mr. President, earlier today you said North Korea has something like 57 nuclear weapons. They've been expanding their nuclear program. Is your goal in trying to re-engage with Chairman Kim still denuclearization? And what makes you think you can be successful now?
What? This
Well,
is
I don't
another
want to talk
crypto.
about that, but I do have a good relationship with Kim Jong-un. As you know, you've seen. He didn't like Biden. He didn't like Obama. He didn't like anybody, but he likes me, and I just got along with him very good. We had great meetings. We speak, and I think our nation, and I think other nations, frankly, whether it's Japan or South Korea, they're a lot safer if I'm president than if somebody else is president. Now, I didn't like the fact that we're doing these massive military exercises, really against North Korea. It was an exercise against North Korea. When I'm friendly with him, when we have, I don't see anything happening for certainly 2.5 years. It's not going to happen with me, but I don't see anything happening. And I was not happy when South Korea said, no, they're not interested in helping us with the Hormuz Strait, and yet they get 60% of their oil from the Hormuz Strait. I said, would you like to help us? He said, no, thank you. I said, that's nice, please, thank you. He made us a lot of money. I didn't like that. So I felt that to do we were doing a massive war exercise. I thought that was very insulting to somebody that, frankly, has been, during my term at least, very well behaved. Yeah.
Hopefully the...
Well, I think it is, but I mean, it's very sad. Every time we do great, we announce great numbers, the interest rates go up. And they go up because they want to stop inflation. They should go down because the country's strong. You know, I see countries like Switzerland where they're the #1 lowest interest rates, 0.5%, and we pay 3.5%. And yet, if we stop doing business, for instance, I have the absolute right to cut off all business with a country like Switzerland, like anything. So why are they prime if I can cut off the business and they are no longer functional? And yet they're considered to be like an elite country. And I don't want to single them out because there's 60 countries like that. They live off the United States. So why are we paying higher interest rates than them? You know, in the old days, we used to pay the lowest interest rate, no matter how we were doing, because we sort of generate for the whole world. And I want to see it where interest rate, and I have to tell you, we have a wonderful chairman. I think he's doing a great job. The problem is he has a board, and it's a political board. People put in by Obama, Biden, and me. And there are quite a few members still left, as you understand. And so they vote to raise interest rates. I don't know if they're doing it because they think they're doing a good thing or because they like the politics of it. But my point is, years ago, 25 years ago, when the country announced good numbers, interest rates went down because we had a stronger country. Now when we announce good numbers, the better they are, the worse it is for interest rates. So we could have a GDP of 10 times. You know, they say, oh, it's going to be 3 times or 4.1. We could have a GDP of 10, 12, 15 times if they just leave us alone. Let the rates go down. We should pay the lowest interest rates. You know, every point of interest is $600 billion. Think of that. Every point of interest is $600 billion. 2 points means we make a fortune, but we keep driving it up. It's a very unfair system, and I've said it now for a long time. When our country does well, interest rates should go down. I mean, every time I hear our country's doing well, I say, oh, it's too bad, because they lift up interest rates. They should drop interest rates because it means we have a strong country. And it's all based on credit, meaning good credit. And we have the best credit. And we pay off the debt very easily, very quickly. But if somebody's paying a half a point, we should be paying a half a point, not somebody else. Right now, I think it's Switzerland has the lowest. Again, and I don't want to single them out, but if you take our business away from Switzerland, they have problems. So why are they paying a half a point and we're paying much more than that? Does that make sense to anybody? I mean, it seems pretty simple to me, but it's a killer. You know, I almost like to hear bad numbers. I'm saying, I hope we have bad numbers today. Interest rates will go down. It doesn't make sense. When our business is good, we should lower interest rates. And then you want to build America, you're going to see a building like you've never seen. We're doing great, even despite the fact of what's happening with interest rates. No, I don't think so, because like I said, our country is doing so well despite interest rates. We have interest rates that are artificial. They're actually artificially high. They raise them for no reason. And you can't go out to the market when you have a Fed that's raising interest. You can't say, I want to pay 3 points less than what the Fed says you're supposed to be paying. So, no, I don't think so at all. I think we have a very powerful country, and we're powering through these ridiculous interest rates. They're ridiculous. Look, when our country is strong, interest rates should go down. When our country is weak, frankly, they should go up. But this country is strong. There's never been in history the kind of money coming into a country as we have right now. Trillions and trillions of dollars are being invested in plants, factories, everything. Everything you can think of. We're the hottest country in the world. We are by far, and I said it 100 times, the king of Saudi Arabia, but many people, they said 2 years ago, 3 years ago, your country was dead. Now you have the hottest country in the world. That's what we have. We have the hottest country in the world, and these people are helping us a lot. Thank you very much, everybody. Come on to the Oval Office. We're going to take them into the Oval Office. We're going to show them a real office, okay? Their offices are nice, but this is...
All right. Let's do this. Let's pause that. All right, and we are back here. All right, so there it was. We had some heavy hitters, some crypto superstars in the building. Brian Armstrong, Unky B, got a chance to address everybody. It was the Winklevis. They got a chance. Sergey Nazarov got an opportunity. Now I saw Brad Garlinghouse in the back there. He didn't get a chance to say anything. But it is what it is. And then the guy from Kraken got to say something. So, all right. Well, that was the. Let's see is Bitcoin dumping yet, or let's see, what can we do here? Let's go to CoinMarketCap. 68,370. Actually, let's go to TradingView. Let's see what is happening with the 68,343. Yeah, I mean the sustain, the pumps last. Let's put it on the hourly. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. It's probably going to flag out. We'll see what happens for a little bit here, but I appreciate you guys tapping in today. Thank you so much for joining me. You know, this is kind of the new format. We'll get a chance to go through the markets. We'll go through the news, and then we'll go through some other stuff that's happening. Probably do some more Coley in a short. This might be the time. Again, you would think that if it was going to be a sustained pump, that we wouldn't be a few hours into the correction still. So I would see. Oh, hashtag wallet. Let's see. Let me go to. Let's see. Is wallet on here? Here we go. Is it a $3.6 million market cap? Is it that one? Because we can go to the trenches. Let's go. Are we? So there is that on charts. Here we go. We're still on the good. Oop. I gotta reframe this now. Come on now. All right, I'll have to refix that later though. But okay, so let's do this, and then I gotta hit load. And let's see here. Here's the wallet chart. Let's look at the daily. I mean, it's a good chart, man. I'll tell you what. It's been cooking, and it ain't getting crushed yet. It has got a $3.6 million market cap. You think that this might end up being the token for their proprietary or their in-house or their ecosystem wallet? Let's see, we got a lot of liquidity. We'll have to do some research on this, man. So the good token, that is my first experience on Robinhood. I don't have any other projects that I've invested in or know much about it, and so I got to do some research. So I'll tell you what, I will do some research in the wallet token. I got two ideas for some content today in the show. One, we're going to take a look at the wallet token and learn about that and kind of get some information, see about it. But then also, I like the idea of stablecoin CBDC. Like, how does that look? Are they the same? Shout out to, let me go up to, it was Chuck who had said it, was what keeps a stablecoin from becoming a CBDC. It's a great video concept, and so I wrote that down. That also triggered a nice conversation that I think we're going to have in our Discord to set up a content generator so that we can be bringing you guys, if there's questions that you guys have on the show or however we set it up, how things look, that's something we got. So that is something that it's a process. We'll be back tomorrow, and we'll continue to build, develop, and grow, and do all that stuff. So appreciate you guys being here. Make sure you smash that like button on your way out of here. That will do it for today. Don't forget, at 9 p.m. Eastern tonight, we got the Trade Daddies. We coming back. Me and Mike, the Modern Canadian, will be live at 9 p.m. Eastern. So get yourself a reminder. Get yourself set. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you later. Ciao for now.